police us and spy on us, tell us that makes us safer. We've never been in more danger.
This is my life. This is everything I believe in.
You are on dangerous ground here.
I know what I'm doing.
We have a small problem.
Hey everyone, Dave here, December 1773. With me as always is Ryan. This is episode 123 of the weekly show. All of the week's How to Stop Us with a Twist. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, all the places that won't allow our speech, except Rumble. Rumble is the free speech alternative to YouTube. Like, comment, all the things. So Ryan's been doing this thing where he goes in unknowingly into our show. If we were to title this episode, we would title it "We Were Right Again," because Elon Musk, in purchasing Twitter, now has access to Twitter internal documents. A fun piece of information that I didn't even think about, honestly.
Wonder why they didn't want him to buy that company.
Well, let's get to it, Ryan, because the Twitter files have been released.
Oh no! And yeah,
you serious? You haven't seen any of this? You haven't seen a little bit of this. I just want everyone to I just want it to be clear. Ryan has not seen this.
Nope, I know nothing.
Okay.
This is the most I've seen, other than a few tweets, a few general things. Yeah. I wanted to especially go on blind on this. I have some other things from this week that actually absorbed my attention because Dave does a great job with his topics.
The Twitter files. Here we go. What you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources at Twitter. The files tell an incredible story from the inside of one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is Frankensteinian tale of human-built mechanism grown out of control of its designer. I love that description. Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas of information instantly without barriers. As the time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of its first tools for controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly over time, Twitter's staff and executives began to find more and more uses for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well, first a little, then more often. As we have seen, Ryan.
But why wouldn't they just do it a lot at first, David? Why a little at first?
Well,
it was just the crazy people, I'm assuming, right?
Well, here's why they didn't do it at first. Twitter was not always the public square, Ryan. It became the public square with its popularity.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. it certainly developed over time as people realized, hey, we can use this. And when I say people, we'll get into the Kanye West thing. I'm speaking about elites, not necessarily Jewish people.
That's a good point, David, because I remember during the 2016 campaign, they said Trump is really the first social media era president, that was like before, during, and after campaigning and everything else, and Twitter. And so, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
my point was that they started by just saying it was extreme people that they're going to, look at or express. And, this is what they always say. It's that 1% of people, then it always grows.
And here's the thing. I mean, politicians have been on Twitter for a long, long time. But the thing is, certain politicians, Trump certainly really made it their main form of communication with the public. And when that became, how business was done, it was very obvious that something had to be done. And specifically, it's going to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop story, of course, which we've talked about it. We nailed it from the fucking get-go on this, Ryan. But let's get a little bit further too, because we're going to go a little bit not so far back immediately. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another. More to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back handled. Both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, the system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain, open to the left, well, Democrats, than the right. Look at some of these. These numbers are astonishing. Look at the percentage. This is contributions. 99.73% of contributions. And I think this is from people at Twitter to political parties, if I'm not mistaken. Look at this. Republicans at Twitter, $451 to $165,000.
That's one Trump hat. That's one Trump hat.
Yeah.
The whole office.
It's it's incredible. The resulting slant in content moderation decision is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it's also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. There were more throat-clearing about the processes, but screw it, let's jump forward. The Twitter Files, Part 1, How and Why Twitter Blocked the Hunter Biden Laptop Story. So this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was the original...
October 14th, 2020.
On October 14th, 2020, the New York Post published Biden's secret emails and exposed an expose based on the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Now, this was the story that got, we had that, Zuckerberg on Rogan, openly talking about Chad banning the story. And, Rogan's like, oh, what percent? He's like, well, I don't know the exact number, but it was meaningful. Twitter outright banned it. Here it is. This is the original story. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message, a tool hitherto reserved for extreme cases like child pornography. So they were blocking.
Which in this case, it actually probably did have that.
Well, there was, yes. As we were told, we have to use the word allegedly, Ryan. But allegedly, there is handfuls of child pornography on the laptop. But think about this. This is the social media. I think everyone kind of assumes that their private messages are safe, but here's Twitter saying that their private messages between users were getting blocked. So not only are they blocking the story publicly, they're blocking it behind closed walls as well. White House spokeswoman Kayleigh McKenna, you've talked about this when it happened, was locked out of her Twitter account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who seethed, at least pretended to care, for the next 20 days. This led public policy executive Caroline Strom to send out a polite, what the fuck? Several employees noted there was tension between the comms and policy teams who had little/less control over moderation and the safety teams. Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy. Remember, this was important. We played the interview with the guy on the PBD podcast, but the story wasn't hacked. Hunter Biden dropped his laptop off, forgot it was there, left it there so long that it legally became the property of the computer shop of the owner. I don't remember his name offhand. And he said, well, I have no interest in this, and he gave it to the FBI. So the FBI has had this thing for how long, Ryan? 4 or 5 years? They've had it a long time. Remember, they're looking into tax violations, so that's good. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, Zuckerberg, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. The decision was made at the highest level of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal policy and trust, Vijaya Gaddy, playing a key role. No fucking idea how to say that. Now, remember, we were kind of talking about Jack Dorsey, and I still don't know how I feel about Jack Dorsey. I don't think I'm a fan. But it is interesting that all of this happened without the knowledge of the CEO. And that almost makes you wonder, Ryan, why would it have to happen without the knowledge of the CEO unless he wasn't for this kind of thing, right?
Or
Isn't that logical?
or it's called plausible deniability.
But it's Veep, not House Cards, right?
I mean, realistically, it is both. Like, I am underselling it. Ben Shapiro's not wrong, but he's not right either. Like, if they can do it without the CEO of Jack Dorsey, like, what the hell is Jack Dorsey doing that he doesn't know what his employees are doing? Is he getting strippers and cocaine, or like, is this guy trying to do bigger and better things? Or maybe was it too big? Like, maybe Elon has proved that these social media companies do have too much power, and that's mainly because people sit around and do nothing. So what else are you going to do but be able to? They basically have monetized all of us down to their opinions, right? This has really proven to me, that they can sift through all of our opinions, pick the winners. This, once again, always known and thought about, but this level of detail. Yeah, I'm not doubting that Jack Dorsey didn't know, but I also wouldn't put it past Jack Dorsey to maintain a certain level of anonymity from this, so that he could just play dumb, basically, and basically do what Zuckerberg did. I don't actually know the number. Zuckerberg doesn't actually probably know the actual number, but he knows it's enough to censor it. Like, these people aren't stupid. These people know exactly what they're doing, right? Like,
Well,
Jack Dorsey knew. And then also you got to think too, I don't know when this is, as far as the latest date in this thread here, but Jack Dorsey seen what the hell was happening on the internet. He knew what right wingers were talking about. He was on Joe Rogan, with Tim Pool and everything, when they talked about that they have a left wing bias and all this. And they tried to sit there with a straight face then and say that they don't, you know.
Was that Dorsey that was on with Tim Pool and Rogan?
Yeah, and then they had the other girl on there. I don't know,
Okay.
because I'm pretty sure Jack Dorsey was on by himself. That predated that podcast. Tim Pool was on
Okay.
as well, and then they like talked about it. Tim Pool and Rogan talked about it, and then they're like, "Well, let's get all of us here." And then some. I believe she was like Indian.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was the. I could be wrong about this, but that was the girl who was supposed to be the head of the. No. She was the one who was working at Twitter who got fired recently.
Yeah, but whatever she did, she was the one that should have known the answers. And I'm pretty sure, she did the typical defer, and I don't have the numbers. And it's probably something similar to this. The reason they don't ask is they don't need to know. Just do what like, what your assignment is.
Yeah.
Why are we supposed to think that this isn't, what's happening? I mean, it really brings up the question, David, why this is such a. If it wasn't a plan, why do it? Because it sabotages your whole business model, right? If half the country feels a certain way, you're segregating half the country from potentially using your thing. It just doesn't make sense that you would operate like this unless they're. Maybe I'm just putting strings together, because it don't make sense. And then there's this level of secrecy going on behind the scenes on company emails and all these other things. They're censoring in between messages. Like, these people are coders and hackers, and like they know what the outer world is doing. They see conservative pundits saying all this shit. Like, how am I not supposed to think it's House of Cards?
By this point, everyone knew this was fucked, said one former employee, but the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err.
Yeah, I was just doing my job. Why'd you kill 6 million people? I was just following orders.
Well, this is Twitter following orders. Former VP of Global Comms Brandon Borman asks, "Can we?" By the way, every time I read one of these titles, this is why Elon laid off half the company. VP of Global Comms, get the fuck out of here. Brandon Borman asks, "Can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy?" To which former Deputy General Counsel, holy shit, Jim Baker again seems to advise, saying the non-course because caution is warranted.
We need more facts.
A fundamental problem with tech companies and content moderation. Many people in charge of speech know/care little about speech and have to be told the basics by outsiders. In one humorous exchange on day one, Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna reaches out to Gad to gently suggest she hop on the phone and talk about the backlash free speech. Khanna was the only Democratic official I could find in the files who expresses the concern.
A quick question here. Why do they not care about free speech or understand speech?
So I mean, think about it. That what was it, $100 and whatever $1,000 versus $451. That dude, for the $451 dude, and we don't even know who that is. That guy could be a janitor for all I know on Twitter.
It could be Jack Dorsey.
It could be $400. There you go. Like I said, for all we know, that guy could be the fucking janitor at Twitter. I don't know, but if that guy is somebody of some type of power, if he could pull any type of weight, I mean, he would have to be a Braveheart type individual to speak up and say, like, this is wrong what we're doing here. And he should have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it, but
yeah, and this is right here. This Bill of Rights thing is dovetails about them not caring about how speech and things understand and work, and it's like the privilege of these people in their ivory towers, like the amount. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. It's just gnarly, man. Like, this is the ignorance and delicacies that lead to it. Not that Dave and I are here to throw stones in glass houses, but we respect these institutions that were given to us, and these people shit on them. They sway elections. They withhold informations, and they're promiscuous, and they know it. And they're. I mean, look at all of the talking, the drama. Could you imagine if this was like a fight about a boyfriend or something? Like, this amount of, like, there's so much drama, and we're referencing fucking Twitter policies, and this person's involved and this person's, but Jack Dorsey didn't know, but 35 people knew. That's the worst game of telephone I've ever heard. I never thought in my life that a CEO wouldn't know about a problem within his company when everybody else is knowing. We got fucking emails going out all over the place. Like, the amount of drama this is entail, I can just imagine this. This is.
At the end of the day, the CEO of the company is responsible for the company. And it would be nearly impossible at a massive company to know every single thing that's going on. But how would you not have some idea that this is happening at your company? If there was no suspicions at all, I mean, you have hundreds or thousands of people. I mean, I don't know, probably thousands of people. Hundreds of which maybe have a massive following on the right, saying, like, somebody look into this. Like, we are getting censored left and right. We're getting shadow banned. There's no way the CEO didn't have some suspicion about what was happening.
How many times did Twitter get shadow banned? Crowder gets shadow banned. He took him to court and sued YouTube. You're telling me they didn't, like, other social media platforms didn't have an eye on this?
Yeah, I'd be surprised. And then at the same time, like, I don't know. Am I supposed to believe the CEO of Twitter, the CEO of Facebook, the CEO of YouTube, like, they've never had conversations with each other. They're just totally separate. They've never even ended up at the same party before. Like, I don't know. How much am I supposed to believe here?
I'm sure they hang out with the average Joe, David. They don't.
I don't know. Like, this is a lot, but I have feelings it goes even way farther than this. Gad replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds of Twitter policy, unaware Khanna is more worried about the Bill of Rights.
What's the Bill of Rights, David?
That's don't worry about those. Those aren't important. Khanna tries to, the new Bill of Rights, Ryan, is public Twitter policies. Khanna tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment, mention of which is generally hard to find in the files. Within a day, head of public policy Lauren Culberston receives a ghastly letter/report from Carl Szabo of the research firm NetChoice, which had already polled 12 members of Congress. 9
Congress knows about it, but Jack fucking Dorsey doesn't.
Oh, we're getting into the comment section at this point. I mean, honestly, the comment section should lighten the mood a little. This is Twitter's darkest secrets. Elon. Fuck around
and find out.
Oh. This is great. We should just go.
Can't wait for the what was that one? It's proof of 100 for that time.
Oh, can't wait for the
I can't wait for
Magateers.
Magateers when they're definitely nothing burger and they still can't figure out they're being grifted.
Yeah, I don't know. She should probably look more into the laptop story.
The Twitter files.
Oh, is there? Good lord. I mean, Ryan, as much as I'm enjoying looking at this is absolutely absurd. Again, it's something I can't. Should we get to the show or should we keep scrolling through these?
We are the news. And now we're off to the comic section to see what experts think. Hey, we're trying. I was jumped by two guys wearing Tesla hats. They told me this is Twitter country.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
Charlie Sheen and Hunter.
All right. Here's last one.
Everyone wants to have sex with me. That's not what fuck Joe Biden means.
All right.
Hillary Clinton wanted me to know that she would like to invite you over for a friendly dinner. Yeah, I love all the blue checks now. It's just like, he's kind of proving how like worthless the dumb check is as well by charging everybody $8 because that's all it was before, right? Is that you had influence with somebody somewhere. Yeah,
pretty much. I'm sure more will come out about Twitter. And we'll at some point, I guarantee we'll be talking more about this. We're always going to be keeping our eye on the ball of the cabal, if you want. The cabal ball. Keep the eyes on the cabal ball, Ryan. But we've known about this for a while. We've been saying this is happening. It's nice to see a little more evidence every time we talk about it. The other thing that happened, Ryan, not to dive away from the Twitter files too quickly. But Kanye West, or Ye, as you would like me to call him, and he would like me to call him.
The gift that keeps giving.
I suspect he would walk out if I called him Kanye. He was on Tim Pool's Timcast. Was it Timcast? I don't know, because Tim Pool's confusing. He has like two shows. One is him, and one's him and like three nerds. I don't know.
He's like the dorkiest guy, isn't he?
I don't know. He's got a pretty cool beanie that he never takes off. Pretty sure it's been surgically installed to his head.
He probably showers with it on. That's his shower cap.
Let's just roll the clip. You can tell me if you think Kanye maybe was overreacting a little bit.
You're not gonna take if we can't. You're not gonna take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say it's the Holocaust. This happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's gonna denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what. Because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like. I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. But I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is, can we?
Press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up? And then
Have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a
Like,
conversation?
have the discussion.
Like you think Ye's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm going to say, I hear you. And then he's going to say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm going to be like, okay, but don't you consider it's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised. What do I even do? other than ask him, please elaborate on this. Are you referring to individuals, or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
This one isn't as bad as the other clip that's surfacing. First of all, I think the idea is to let Kanye talk.
Sure.
You know, like the guy doesn't. I'm not saying like you have to rationalize and try to have a rational conversation with this guy, because it's not going to happen. You know, Ben Shapiro released a statement this week that it's not doing him any benefit to Kanye to have him on podcasts, because it's just making everything worse. And I don't know if that's true or not or whatever, but I don't know, man. I was a little disappointed, like in Tim Pool, because like I'm not expecting him to call them Jewish people and everything, but this is the fucking fence sitting. Like Tim Pool just tried to be a rationalist with Kanye West, who's a guy that feels. This is why like they always say it's a irate minority that ends up moving the political needle, at least in this country. But like, dude, you're not going to be able to sit there with people and try to like actually have discourse. This guy believes something so deep in his soul that he's willing to bankrupt his whole lifestyle of billions of dollars over saying certain words that people don't like. You think he gives a fuck about rationality? You think he really cares about sitting on the fence and trying to be objective in the news when he feels a certain way? And also let's couple it with other things in the media that feel so crazy that nobody talks about, like Epstein, which is funny because he has the shirt on in this interview. Epstein didn't Epstein himself. We have fuck islands. Why wouldn't it be Jewish media? If all elites are Jewish, wouldn't it be the Jewish media? If all the people that make all this decision, wouldn't it be Jewish media? If when it comes to all these black-owned things, it's black-owned this, black-owned that. Ain't I always told that it's white males that own everything, and it's an aggressive patriarchy that's suppressive? Isn't that what I'm told? If it's all white people at the top, it's a patriarchy? Isn't that what we do by default? And then Kanye, not defending him, but he's basically doing that, right? If you use deductive reasoning, if everybody's Jewish at the top of media, is it Jewish media?
I see what you're saying, but is that the case?
I don't know.
Exactly. Well, that's the point, though, I guess.
He probably knows better than we do, though.
Kanye?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't know where all this comes from, to be honest with you. I'm not saying there aren't Jewish people at the top. I'm not saying there are or there aren't. Is it enough so that it's only Jewish people holding Kanye West back, trying to lock him up? I don't know. I don't know the information that Kanye West has gotten. I don't know the text messages he's received. I don't know the emails he's gotten. I don't know the threatening phone calls he might have gotten. I don't know. I don't know enough about the situation, and I don't think anybody knows enough about the situation. But Kanye West is pretty sure that it's Jewish people that are doing this to him.
He also hasn't said all Jewish people, right? Like this is the whole thing that you got to preface fucking everything in comedy and everything else you say. Well, I didn't say all Jewish people or all this. Not to defend him or anything, but like it would be differently if he's like all Jewish people are out to destroy me and black people, you know, or like all. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't care if there is Jewish people that sit on top and control everything. It doesn't matter. Anybody that controls people is freaky and creepy and should be called out, whether they're Jewish, black, Christians. It doesn't matter. The Pope, I don't care. These people in power that use their power to corrupt people at Twitter, and that's our point. And this is why maybe I sympathize with Kanye a little bit. And I almost feel like everybody knows he's obnoxious. So does he do it on purpose, or I don't think he's willingly bankrupting himself, though.
Well,
you know, like
I think the point Tim Pool was trying to make, which is one I do agree with, which is why just limit it to why even first of all put yourself in a situation where it could be misconstrued, right? Where you're saying that the Jewish elites and whatever, when you could just expand further on it and just talk about certain specific elites who are trying to control people. I mean, that's what we do here, right? We talk about
Kanye. Have you not seen the graph that he showed one time?
Which one?
He showed a graph of all the people some of the people he's talking about. And it was like the colors and overlaps, and it is all Jewish people. Like on at least in the graph he used,
Okay.
So and I don't
Well,
think
that's-
anybody's gonna believe anything the guy releases anyways, because they already have spun court of public opinion on the guy.
Sure. And don't get me wrong, like I do like Kanye West. I think again, what I'm saying is think of all the people we talk about on the show, who aren't Jewish. You know what I mean? Like for example, is Bill Gates Jewish? I don't know offhand, but I'm assuming he's not. Bill Gates.
I don't know if reptiles have religion, David.
How many people in the World Economic Forum or the World Health Organization? I'm sure there's Jewish people there, but I mean, like people like Klaus Schwab. I don't think he's Jewish.
Yeah.
So I think the point is we can point to so
small.
many different elites that it just seems silly to just go around and say the Jewish people are trying to lock me up. And it could be the case. I don't know. Again, I don't have internal information. Maybe there's literally a specific group of Jewish people trying to lock Kanye West up. I have no idea. The point is, why not expand on the idea and let's just talk about the elites like we do here? Does he do it for more? Maybe that's how he gets more views and things like that. Maybe by saying things that are a little ridiculous, you bring more attention to yourself. I don't know. I don't know the end game. I don't know the goals of Kanye West.
Maybe he really does like Hitler, Dave.
Maybe he does. I don't know. He was on Alex Jones's show. He was dressed very interestingly, and apparently he was saying, I didn't see it, so I don't want to say what.
What if they conspiracy? What if they drug Kanye?
Well, they wanted to, right?
What if
they were open about it.
David, what if they did?
Well, interestingly enough, apparently the person who was running around trying to drug Kanye,
also Jewish,
maybe, works for the Canadian military of some type. And I guess he does some type of, let me see if we can pull this up. He's a Canadian personal trainer whose clients include high-profile Hollywood celebrities.
Did Kim Kardashian go there?
Kanye West said that Pasternak has a background as Canadian MK Ultra intelligence operative. He served as exercise and nutrition scientist for Canada's Department of National Defense, and possibly was connected to agencies with a focus on psychological warfare operations.
So he could have been an MK Ultra operative.
And may have researched mind-altering drugs.
Why wouldn't he have?
Harley Pasternak. Here's a quote from Harley Pasternak. Working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things. Oh.
I'm sure this guy has plenty of experience to just give people the right prescription so that they're a certain way, like say that they love Hitler.
So I don't know. I mean, you're getting deep into the weeds here, and who knows? I don't know. It's very, very extremely possible.
They have fuck islands, Dave. It's never too deep in the weeds.
Well, they don't anymore. Epstein's dead, so that was the only one.
The only island, I'm imagining.
Yeah, that was the only one. They found it.
It's closed, right?
Yeah, they closed it down. I mean, they sold it, but yeah, it's closed. What do you got, Ryan? This is going to be a heavily edited episode.
Okay.
Just for the record, just to clean some flow up a bit.
I just want to add to the Kanye thing that he and Kim are filing divorce official, $200,000 a month in child support. For any women out there listening, I'm going to need a hell of a reason to fucking marry you. We cover the Twitter files. I'm hearing talk of conspiracy time, YouTube. Global cryptocurrency is coming. They're going to crash the currency. Poor people will be offered like a bonus to start using cryptocurrencies instead of the United States dollars. Like $5,000 bonus, $3,000 bonus. They're basically going to shit out a new currency people with wealth. They will tell these people that it's going to be this amount of money now, and then they're slowly going to transfer their money into cryptocurrency. And the conspiracy is that that will never happen. It's a way to transfer the money from the rich to the ultra rich and onward up until there's no more local millionaires, because as people know, if there's no local millionaires, there's no like division of wealth at the highest levels, which means that your town and city cannot be independently financial.
So I might have missed it, but what is this? This is like is this like government like?
Look, I just seen some financial advisor on a TikTok, so this is super verified information because social media would take it down if it wasn't. But the guy's just, I mean, the United States has already legalized a cryptocurrency. I don't know if you want to look that up, but if you type in United States cryptocurrency, there is one made. You know, it's ready to be implemented. They've already like set the foundations. You think they're letting these other companies not test the waters on what crypto is going to be for the future?
Well, they have a lot of current cryptocurrencies already. What they refer to them as stable coins, and stable coins. And what they do is they basically tie into the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, no, that will be done though.
And the point is they're supposed to fluctuate less than normal cryptocurrency, and then way less than things like such as altcoins. Altcoins are like the weird Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and the Mana. There's it's a whole thing. Crypto's fun.
Yeah, the point of me referencing is it's just like we need to think about it this way. I mean, we see all these things about riding the wave and the crash of crypto and people losing their life savings. You know, it's a transfer of wealth. You know, this isn't financial advice, but always think about it. If anything, from my understanding, crypto is more of like a diversification method more so than a main feed.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I was struggling check to check, I wouldn't recommend putting all of your check in cryptocurrency. Let's just put it that way.
San Francisco has now authorized that police can use robots to kill people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the length or extension of this, but for people who don't remember, a few years ago, it might have been like 5 years under Trump, I believe. Texas had a shooter, and Texas sent a robot up there, and it blew up and killed the guy.
Let me ask you this, Ryan.
What's the problem with it, David?
No. Well, I can ask you that if that excites you. But here's the thing I'm going to ask about this. The George Floyd case, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had an individual person who was held responsible by the legal system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let's assume San Francisco. There's a guy, he's throwing fake money around. He's high on drugs. He's resisting arrest, and they send a robot in to kill him. Who's responsible?
The robot, David.
You send the robot to prison?
Yeah. You just get a new robot.
Is it police brutality if it's a robot?
No, it's a robot, David. Please,
Ryan, what's the problem with robots?
Well, the other solution is you fire the police chief and then be like, okay, so what do you do? Replace him with a robot? Remember when I made the joke that everybody's going to be a robot because it's easier? We can just digitally... The AI knows all the things so it can pass the best bills for us.
I'm already planning on being a robot, Ryan. I'm not worried about it. The sooner the better.
I'm sure the robot that lets you become a robot isn't thinking 2 steps ahead of all the robots that it's mass producing to out-robot the other robots. I'm sure that's not something a robot thinks. If I can think about this, a fucking 10 times billion smarter android can think more than what's possible with me, David. Yeah, hilarious, first of all. Second of all, highly dangerous. The main thing we got to realize is you are innocent until proven guilty in this country. And the only way you can be innocent until proven guilty is when you go to court and you're held up by a jury of your fucking peers. And we can't do that if we're just sending fucking murderous robots down people's throats because, you know, guys having a mental breakdown. And go figure, this city that has a high cost of living, people on drug addictions, monkeypox outbreaks, all these other things, the most draconian laws about the lockdowns that have caused mental crises and a homeless crisis and people shit on the sidewalk. The place that has all that, yeah, send the robots down there to deal with them because you probably have an employment crisis of decent cops that could actually get these people help in a medical facility that gets people help because of all your crazy things. People left all those jobs because of your bad COVID policies. It's just crazy. Their solution, but it's just Veep, David. It's just Veep. Speaking of Veep, Alex Jones has filed for personal bankruptcy.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. I didn't see that happening.
So, if you think Alex Jones is about to be off the air, guess again. Speaking of guess
It's
again.
weird. It's weird if you get sued for $1 billion+ that you can go
$1 trillion.
Well, it could be, in theory.
Remember when they tore the school down in one day? Yeah. Did you see the video of the people breaking into the Apple store and stealing all the stuff?
No.
Yeah, there was like 2 kids just coming in and ripping them off the ripping them off the stands. And then later Apple comes out and they're like, yeah, we're going to start like closing some factories and some other things. So I don't know if their plan is to make less iPhones so they're less desirable or put them in less.
Wouldn't that make them more desirable?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Isn't that supply and demand?
I think this is like, I don't know, conspiracy spin. They sent these people in there to close the store so that everything, they're just going to ruin everything. Apple is the richest company in the history of humanity. It's not a coincidence that, they're targeting this business. Speaking of targeting a business, there was a COVID factory that was burned to the ground in protest. A COVID concentration camp in China was burned to the ground in protest because they wanted to do COVID lockdowns over there. People are uprising in China. And, of course, I've seen some things that they're being celebrated in the mainstream media and corporate media. And that's funny because they wanted to take all the truckers' bank accounts and everything else. Weird. That's so little double standard. It's worth mentioning. Just quick back to Twitter files. Do we consider this a win?
It's an interesting question.
Because it's not. Like I don't necessarily think it is.
I think I think, like I said, it's good to see a little bit of. I don't know. It's nice to be vindicated a little bit, right? When you run around and you're referred conspiracy theorist, right? You just think these big tech corporations are out to get you, and I've always, we've always been pretty clear. We don't think that big tech would go out of their way to silence half of their business. It doesn't really make sense. I think they were coerced into it by government, and this is what we're seeing. So it's kind of, it's nice to see the proof of what we've said the whole time, but I wouldn't say it's a win. I would certainly prefer it never happened in the first place.
This reminds me of when they released the JFK files and it came out that he got fucking blasted twice in the chest from a different angle than the rooftop tower and all this. And everybody's like, yeah, so it's like they lied about murdering a president.
He got shot in the head too. There's no doubt.
Did he?
His head exploded.
Did it?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone's dead. Whoever was in the car, his head exploded for sure.
That one magic bullet they got there.
Was that a theory? I never got into it.
Yeah, the magic bullet is a fucking theory.
No. What I'm saying is, was it ever a theory? I never got into like the theories for JFK, but was there ever a theory that it was not actually JFK in the car?
Oh, I don't know about that. All the same, it just kind of reminds me of it. I don't think this is necessarily a win, although this is part of the red wave I was discussing. These things coming to light is the red wave. Don't be misinformed. The problem is like this has always been the case with liberty, that liberty and freedom and winning in this battle takes a very long time. And then by then there's other things lost.
Like our free speech?
Yeah, and like inflation. Like things are so expensive, nobody can buy things to fight back. You can barely buy food, let alone have enough money and extra gas to drive down to DC or your local state capitol building or your state capitol building and protest and demand change. That's something we don't think about is like the actual cost of protests.
I don't know what you're doing, Ryan, but I'm I'm assuming a similar approach. If I know someone voted for Biden or anyone in the Democratic Party, and they're complaining about the cost of things, I won't let that slide.
David, they said I was murdering grandparents because I didn't get a vaccine. I won't let anything they ever say slide ever a fucking again.
Aren't they?
Never again.
Weren't they murdering young adults by forcing them to get vaccines? I mean,
did you hear about the
people
nurse?
Just suddenly dropping dead.
Yeah, and older people in their 60s, all the same age, celebrities, high-profile people.
Not just that, but like people who are in like their 30s. Like, how often do you see somebody who's 38 just drop dead? Like, never.
Did you see the nurse in Germany was giving people a saltwater vaccine instead of an actual vaccine? And they tried it and tried to like try her and everything else, and they let her off. She didn't do any jail time.
Interesting.
Well, because I'm assuming they fought with the Nuremberg Law. You know, these wonderful things our grandparents left us. Those evil, racist grandparents, David. Yeah, I will never apologize for our ancestors giving us civilization. So, speaking of civilized, David sent me a photograph of kids being born by like a young person. What was the with embryos frozen?
There were 30-year-old embryos that were frozen that they successfully turned into living children.
And the person's like 32 or something.
Yeah, they're only like 3 years older than the embryos.
Yeah, so we're run out of people. Just keep it in mind when they're pushing all this. It's just when you see that stuff, you know, what am I supposed to think when we hear all these things? So Elon Musk is going to be able to print his DNA into a fucking android with Neuralink in it already. You know, that's where I'm going. So there's a volcano erupting in Hawaii. Apparently, it's the largest volcano on, like, I don't know, on Earth or in America, but it's erupting, or the largest volcano in Hawaii. Maybe that's the one. But all the same, I'm sure they're going to blame global warming.
Which is interesting because, well, when they erupt, they emit CO2, which causes global warming, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I'm supposed to trust science that doesn't work.
All right, well, someone save Tulsi Gabbard, and then everybody else can fuck off.
All right. David, I want you to go to Google quickly and do a screen thing for us.
This should be interesting. Okay.
I want you to type in B-21 bomber.
I gotta get to the Google first, and I got a screen share. There's a lot to this, Ryan. You don't just type in the bomber. Okay, you can see it?
Indeed.
All right, you want me to type in what?
B-. Yeah, that's fine. B-21 stealth bomber, all that's fine. Whatever. All right, now not the fucking eBay.
What we gotta buy one, right?
Okay, so there is an article from the Air Force. There's an Air Force source. Keep going. It might be another source. Right there, Northrop Grumman. That's the actual company that makes it. But there should be a...
Oh, hello.
All right, it was a wiki page. Yeah. So yeah, I just look at the profile of that plane there, David.
Yeah. Pretty standard looking plane. It's got some wings. Mm-hmm. Little bump in the middle there, kind of, roundish saucer like.
If that thing, look at that. If that thing folds its legs up.
Like this?
If that thing folds its legs up, would be flat underneath, and it would have the same profile as a UFO.
Oh, there's one
in space. It's a 6th generation, okay? So people, I'm not a military expert, okay? I wanted you to use the official page for a very specific reason, but it's no big sweat. But if you go to those pages of the Air Force pages and all that, they actually tell you about this fucking plane. It's actually simply incredible, first of all, that we have this kind of technology. I love it.
This is probably the page you wanted.
Yeah, yes. This is the actual page of the company that makes it. I mean,
this changes everything, Ryan.
That is a fucking UFO. Look at that.
Well, yeah, from this angle, it's slightly UFO-ish. But look at it from... what's this? They have a little video.
Please rise and remove your hats.
30 minutes? No, fuck no. That was going to be a quick clip. What the fuck?
Yeah, look at that. Click on it.
Data sharing and cloud firsts. Data sharing in the sky.
I don't know what it opened, but yeah.
Signed an industry first data rights agreement recently, opening B-21 data access and collaboration across the program, including the launch of a shared environment for the B-21 digital twin. The agreement establishes a level of access to common data and data environments that had not yet been accomplished on a program of this scale. It creates greater transparency and collaboration between Northrop Grumman and the Air Force.
I'm sure that
greater affordability.
I'm sure that transparency will be so transparent the guy at the top doesn't know anything, but all of his people underneath him just sabotage emails and hide it from him. Yeah, this is a 6th generation bomber. Now, all right, keep this in mind. Look at that side profile, David, that purple image.
Yeah.
Now, tell me what UFO style that looks like. It looks like the Tic Tac, does it not? The Tic Tac.
Well, let's pull up Tic Tac.
Okay, because here's what I'm going to say. This is a 6th generation, meaning this is like the step of a new generation.
Meaning they've done 5 other generations?
Right, and the measurement tools that were used to capture these images that...
that's what it was called.
The images that were captured with this Tic Tac UFO and like all those other things, if we're dealing, which is what... I brought it up because this is what I said this was. This is military technology. This is this is foreign actors. This is... We have this stuff, and then here it is. So, all the stuff that was like, you damn well know that they were testing these things. For all I know, the military lied and leaked this information to make it in the public discourse. You could go full conspiracy with the military. The point still remains that this 6th generation airplane, let's just say that, you know how they always said that the Tic Tac went from here to sea level and back, and it was like it was
in an astonishing amount of time.
Yeah. Now imagine that thing is just so smart that it can just jack with all your devices, and it doesn't even have to. Wouldn't Tony Stark, instead of being able to do this, it's just easier to hijack your fucking weapon system?
When Neil deGrasse Tyson was on Rogan, one of his appearances a long time ago, Rogan brought up Tic Tac, and he was talking about UFOs. And Neil deGrasse Tyson's opinion on it is it's probably possible that there's other life out in the world just based on it's so large, what are the odds that we're the only life? But he said until there's proof, there's no proof, right? He's a very scientific person. He's a scientist of some degree. But when he talked to him about, what the guy saw with his eyes and what the radar saw, he said, well, how do you know, when was the last time the sensors were calibrated? And, how do you know that something didn't fail that caused a false reading? And how do you know that something wasn't basically similar things to what you're saying right now?
Yeah, how do you know that the thing isn't a 6th generation fucking artificially intelligent signal blocking disruptor 4000 Acme gun Bugs Bunny murderer? Like, dude, you have no what? Like, we're talking a whole different. This changes everything. That literally means everything that's made is useless. All the airplanes are junk. They want like 100 of these planes or 70 or something. They're like $700 million a piece.
Yeah, probably
10, 100. They want a substantial number, and these things can fly high. And this is to keep up. I also brought this up in the program a few months ago. China's stealth bomber that they're releasing. That probably also looks like a fucking UFO. Which is why you could look it up. I mean, I do. It was like behind a I think it was behind a curtain. I don't think they actually released. It was probably just a piece of cardboard, and they were fucking lying about it.
I'm sure they're not going to let us see it.
Well, state-sponsored media, David, would never lie.
H20, is that right? Is China's new stealth bomber the one that can go like some absurd, like 6 times the speed of sound or something.
Yeah, it can outrun missiles. Yeah, that the B-21 has nuclear capability.
What do you mean?
Like it can drop nuclear missiles.
Oh, of course. You just almost assume.
Yeah, but from space, without them knowing it's there.
Well, they'd catch it at some point, right?
I don't think so, David.
Just blow it up mid-sky.
Stealth. What does the word?
Yeah, but the bomb isn't stealth, is it?
Stealth bomber.
How long does it take to stealth bomb from space?
I would argue that bombs fall through so fast that it would probably dissect through radar or something.
I don't know. I don't know enough about this topic to be honest with you.
I mean, that's the whole point of halo jumping, high altitude, low opening, is that it would allow like Navy SEALs to jump in between radar pulses, basically. And they could go from like 10,000 feet to 1,000 feet, and they wouldn't even know that their airplane was in there. So they may have better radar and things now. I mean, halo jumping was probably released in like the 90s and 2000s. So they may have different strategies for that now, like jammers or whatever. We can get super nerdy in the military because it's so fascinating. But yeah, once again, we got to stop undermining like the ability of the military to want to kill shit.
Well, that's what it's there for. Destruction.
Is it, David?
Kind of, yeah.
But it's a stealth bomber. All right, so last thing before Decembertainment here. I seen a thing at my dad's house the other day. There's a bunch of people in Dubai right now making a bunch of islands on the water. And they're going to sell for like $400 million a piece. If sea levels are rising, David, why are we going to build, 700 islands in Dubai?
Well, they got insurance, Ryan.
Whatever. It sounded crazy. These people are taking over the world. Those are the elites we talk about. Fuck them. Decembertainment this week. Couple things. First of all, I went hunting this weekend. Got some nice time in the woods. Always relaxing. My father shot and missed a deer. So, shame on you, Dad. I wasn't able to get a shot on it. I did see it run in front of me. The point is, it's just very relaxing to get out in the woods. I've been up early already all week when I work. So I was in the routine, being able to go. It was nice to get out. I had COVID last week. So I don't know. It's I'm starting to feel 100% again, and get back to hobbies is always fun. But most importantly, it's a ritual. It's a family tradition. It's on my ancestral hunting grounds. These lands fed me as a youth and helped my family through hard times when they couldn't really afford the most food.
Well, one day, Ryan, you may be able to hunt with your daughter on those grounds for crickets when that's all we're allowed to eat.
Yeah. Car accidents at all-time high. Let me hunt the deer. Couple other things here. David, have you ever heard of a cocaine bear?
No. I mean, I heard the words. I don't know what it means.
Apparently there's a movie coming out about a bear that ingests some cocaine and then goes on a killing spree. I think it's loosely based on
Hunter Biden.
I think it's loosely based on a real story. But I seen the trailer for that this week. I might make some time to schedule it with friends. What I thought was funny was I happened to watch the trailer with my kid.
Okay.
And she laughed her ass off at this bear on drugs. And she obviously asked, I was like, the bear just like, it's just not, I forget exactly what I told her, but it wasn't like, yeah, it's on cocaine. I was like, the bear's on drugs, or like the bear's all messed up on something, it's not right. It's sick.
Did you say it's potentially loosely based on a real thing?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. But I actually want to go see it with a couple people, friends of the show, and go get a steak afterwards. But I just thought it was funny. It's, I don't know. I haven't been to the movies in so long, let alone to go see a dumb comedy. One last thing before my Bills game here. Came home from hunting. David, my favorite movies are the Lord of the Rings on Earth.
Yeah.
The greatest story ever told in humanity. And they had a Lord of the Rings.
The second greatest. Yeah.
What's the first?
Harry Potter.
Oh, my God. It's so crazy that we're arguing that a teenager's story is better than Frodo's.
Why? It's
The
not
smallest
just a
stuff
teenager
is
story. There's adults in Harry Potter.
yeah that want to fuck the teenager, David.
I don't know what you were watching, but I think
Dumbledore's a pedo.
It was the M17, whatever the fuck it is.
NC-17.
Yeah, that's the one.
Harry, come in here so you can pet my phoenix.
They don't call me Harry for nothing.
It always rises again, Harry. So not only did I go hunting and I had some time alone this weekend, but I watched some Lord of the Rings this weekend and I fell asleep to it because it's fucking 1 billion hours long. They had them all back to back to back to back to back. I mean, they even had them on today, so it was on Paramount or something.
It's probably gonna be on for a week if they're watching them in a row.
They're
only 32 hours each.
I'm glad Dave brought up faggot ass Harry Potter because I love shit talking it. Go Lord of the Rings. Bill. All right, first of all, did the Dolphins lose, David? I believe they did.
They were losing last I saw.
Yeah, no. The Bills are top of the East. I think Chiefs lost as well.
Let's look at NFL scores, Ryan. We're looking them up. Ready? Wow. Whenever it gets around to it. All right. San Fran. Oh, they put the smackdown. 33-17. They beat Miami.
Fuck yes. That's good.
Cincinnati beat Kansas City 27-24. Thank you.
Titans lost today. The Ravens lost today.
Titans did lose.
The Jets lost today.
No, the Ravens won.
Ravens won. Oh,
they played the Broncos, so they can't lose.
That's Lamar got hurt. That's
10-9.
Right. Yeah, Lamar got hurt. That's right.
And there was a tie today, so it was very interesting. Detroit put up 40 on Jacksonville. Holy shit.
Jets lost.
Atlanta
the Bills are
lost.
number one.
That's good for Tampa Bay.
Go Brady.
Good boys.
Go Brady.
Yeah, that's good. The Bills are sitting atop then, right?
Yeah, number one seat. If they win out, if they win out, they could get a bye week and then home games, dude.
Right back where they belong.
Fuck.
Now, the thing with Kansas City is now I think they have 2 games in hand effectively. Because it's not good enough for Kansas City to tie Buffalo because Buffalo won the head-to-head.
Yes, they have to beat Buffalo, and Buffalo has to lose, right?
Yeah. But we got some games coming up against...
but all those other teams, minus the Ravens,
Miami's big, too. Although they have a head-to-head for
Jets.
us.
Yeah, and the Jets. But, I mean, just in general, their record.
Oh, the Jets lost, too. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so Bills number one seed. The Bills play fucking incredible. Josh Allen is superhuman. That throw on the way out of the end zone, smoking Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. He's running to the right. He stiff arms a defender, and he just yeets it past 3 defenders.
Cross his body.
That's the stuff that you see that, and then you forgive all the stupid stuff.
You can't.
Holy shit! Nobody.
McDermott said that he closes his eyes. He's like, "Yeah, I closed my eyes. I didn't see the throw." That was his joke, right?
Well, you would close your eyes because logically, Gabe Davis, who's in the end zone, is triple covered, and you're stiff arming a defender as you throw it. You don't make that throw. Are you nuts? He does make that throw. He's the only one who makes that throw.
Yeah, it's uncoachable to defend that. I heard a thing that Josh Allen is the only quarterback on Bill Belichick's fantasy team. Yeah, I told you guys, the only people that can beat Josh Allen is Josh Allen. I also did not know until after the game. That was their first week of full practice that the Bills have gotten since the snowstorm.
Yeah, because they had the snowstorm, and then they had the Thanksgiving game right after.
Yeah, those 2 games, they only had 1 practice. No wonder they look like shit. And then they get an actual full week of practice against Belichick, and they fucking destroy him. They had a run game. Everything, it was great. It was just, they looked elite, you know, and then not to mention everybody losing today in their division. I hope it pumps them up, and I hope they just steamroll the end of the year here. Von Miller's out. People should be getting healthy. Everybody's healthy on defense.
Hopefully he could be back for playoff time. So that's good.
Yeah, it's cool to see the Bills steamroll. Yeah, as always, go Bills. It's fucking awesome. And yeah, Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Thank you guys who made it to the end. I appreciate you the most. I'll catch you guys for the premiere Monday, 7 Eastern. Dave and I will be there, hopefully. Like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Thank you, Dave, for your time as always, and I'll see you guys there.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Peace, man.